All right, I'm going to try and get through a proper video documentary of how to create the proper giving Osama bin Laden, or the next one, every possible chance cuffs, while not torturing him so much, while also giving him the rights to earn the judgment just by the way he behaves in the cuffs. So this first part is I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to talk through this. It's quite difficult. I'm building a knot that's going to be the end point of the let's see. Like pulling, it's sort of like grenade talk. This is going to be like pulling two pins, and we're going to pull two pins to set them up to pull two pins. It's like we're going to pull two pins, and then he's going to pull out a clip, like a trailer hitch clip, to try to get out of these cuffs, while we sort of give him the options to. So there's two pins for us to pull, like it's our grenade we're setting as the judge, setting in the cuffs. And then there's two clips, so to speak, which are two loops he has to pull through to totally defeat the cuffs. Well, he might be able to, I'm not sure if he'll be able to get loose. He might be able to get loose slipping off the cuffs instead of trying to pull them all the way undone, which this will allow. Two. I'm kind of rushing here. I know I got some time because this is a YouTube now. I hate the upload time these days. I believe I could do way better if it wasn't for, I don't know, traffic, or I think it's getting edited like 6 or 7 times against my will. It's probably within the conditions of the user agreement I've agreed to at this point. I haven't read the latest update of. I left a little extra here. That might be a problem later. I didn't have much left over after the last time. Alright, so now I'm going to tie 6 links. I think at this point I'm supposed to tie 6 links to connect, no, first it's the cuffs. And this is supposed to pull to feed the cuff. And this is a small scale. This is small scale, so these cuffs aren't actually going to be, like functional, like they'll look like they could work on me or anything. I do need a decent amount of length to actually make everything look about right. Maybe a little more for this cuff. I'm going to try to make them about the same size. And for now, I'm probably going to try and keep them at max open. This feeds. Alright, so here we go. I've about got my small scale cuffs ready with my special pull knot. There's also a pin to be, 2 pins, a pin to be pulled through 2 loops, so like 2 hitches, and then it's going to be able to be pulled at within its restraint system to be pulled through to get out of, to control the torture of these devices, while also giving judgment, because they're supposed to be gotten into with submission achieved consensually. Now I'm going to tie the links I'm going to tie the links between the cuffs, and I'm going to need a directionality control on the other side. I'm not sure if I got everything right on the last one. I thought I did. I'm not remembering exactly how I got my directionality controller on the other side, because right now it's not a big deal. I have it controlled by the directionality of this simple loop I'm using to achieve link making. And maybe I'm going to try and make these a little tauter to free up a little more rope for the design. Let's see, those 1, 2, 3. I'm not exactly sure what I've done so that it doesn't feed so fast and easy. At first my design was feeding through quick and easy, and I'm not sure exactly what I've done to change it. All right, there's going to be some features that are needed at the third. Look at that, it fed out. What just happened here? I wonder if somebody just snapped by. I saw a bug took my attention. Things just went strangely wrong, like they shouldn't have. I don't know exactly what happened. This madness here. Happy September 11th, if such a thing could ever be. I sure am thinking about controlling every Osama in every city, or controlling Osama in every city. I will not lose 9/11 if we should ever get anywhere near it. As your general of the army, I'm basically the highest general on the planet. It is my duty to control issues like this. Alright, what was it? 1, 2, and 3 here? And so I lost my count. 1, 2, I think this was 3. Yeah, I started counting. 2, 3. Yeah, I give up 2. Yeah, alright. 1. 2. 3. 'And I got to try to remember all the features needed. So the cuffs themselves are the judge of this situation upon capture, so that Osama is due an immediate death should he get out of the cuffs in the maximum worst way. If he defeats all the features of the cuffs to get out of the cuffs, he not only earns, I think it's something like he earns the maximum penalty under military law for him and all supporters, or something like that. Yeah, so this is 1 and 2. I'll drag on. Or the next Osama, or whatever. Just we should just happen to have another Osama bin Laden drop the World Trade Tower. We'll stop it before that. And he can still have his fun in these cuffs I'm creating for him. 3. So at this point I'm trying to make these equal, about equal length, and then I got some features to put in them. Let's see, I was trying to have a controller. I'm trying to have this controller of maximum cuff tightening, and I'm sort of leaving out a really special one. I'm going to allow these to go to max tight by a pull. But it'll come right back out most likely, as we check also who's putting him in the cuffs for how hard they try to tighten them. And I'm thinking about putting that feature in. I forget if it was on my feature list or not for this. Give Osama the right to maximum military penalty for how he behaves in the cuffs. So here we are at our third links, and we're going to tighten the cuff, feed it through the link with the features, and then put a pin in it that has to be pulled before it can be fully unloosened, or before it can be unloosened to try to get through the loop once we've tightened it. And the loop's going to be controlled, so it will have to go through this pin being pulled and that twice, so that this can uncuff, so this can unloop, giving all this extra length in case things have just gone terribly wrong and it's become a torture device instead of a consensually entered control device, like Osama's really just a wild animal who's sort of submitted to us, and we're just trying to keep his body under control, under his consent. Alright, so let's see. I have a max tighten I need, max tightening. I'm forgetting. It's tough out here. I'm in a gassing. That can feed still, but I think I'm gonna control that. So then, let's see, did I get that right? No, all right. So these tighten as they pull apart. As the cuffs pull apart, it tightens. It tightens on the pin. So the pins tighten separately, and then the cuffs tighten. The pin is going to also control the knot tighten, the system tightening around the knot for the the cuff itself tightening system, the actual loop of it. All right, here we go. I'm not sure if I forgot a feature. I might have needed one more thing. I think what I'm worried about is how tight the cuffs might get pulled at this point. So it goes through, and I thought I might have needed another feature for trying to cinch this down real nice. But now we're going to now this cinches down to control the cuff tightening. But like I said, this is sort of supposed to be custom tied here. So it can feed through to tighten and back and forth without it being the knot that's just gotten cinched down with the pin, and then it's controlled to be held there by how hard the links are being pulled apart. So I've got this right here. Yeah, it looks like it's blown apart on me. I wonder what's happened here. I keep having this problem with, like, it's almost like there's some really special machine that can sort of change my knots. It's hard to explain exactly how this happens. You know, I did just get this thing cinched right once, and I believe I used my system exactly as it was supposed to work. Like there's all these Osama supporters. It's terrifying. Let's see, how different is this than what I was just trying to have under control? Where's that pin knot? What is it? Thinking it pulled out or something? double pin. Now let's see what's happening on this side here. I might have forgot a feature. Alright, so here we go. And this is supposed to pull to tighten on the around the knot, and we got the pin tightened, and the knot is supposed to be able to pull through the feed from the cuff here. So when this pulls, it tightens on it without actually cinching it dead, so the cuff can still loosen, because it's supposed to be custom sized and within a control range, so it's not a huge torture event. And then before it pulls free from this, the pin is supposed to control it. So this side still seems to be working. So there's pin through. Here I am pulling taut on the pin, because this will cinch to dead, or this will cinch so no more cinching can occur. And then here I'm actually going to try and take here's maybe where I was making a bit of a mistake. I didn't feed all the way up and through, so it has the cuffs feeding here and here. And maybe I'm probably going to want to put one more feature here on top of the knot to make it easy to feed, but I don't really want to. That's one of these torture features. All right. And then this pulls like this. This is basically the other cuff that's basically supposed to be exactly this. And then if they pull apart in this condition, the harder they pull apart, the harder it is to get this length back for the cuff. Right now it's set up like it looks like it's really somewhat easy and graceful, but it is. The harder it pulls, you're pulling the cuffs apart, the harder it is to take it to max cuff size if for some reason the cuffs should need to over and over be tightened. And after enough of that, it is to be allowed that the person responsible for the cuffs being put on can just give this person the last of their graces and pull this pin that's controlling the mechanism for the arms being pulled apart to cinch down on what can now be taken. You can get this really strong grip to try to recuff or tighten the cuffs and repin. But then it's also supposed to be, at this point, you're not supposed to be doing that. The pin is pulled through here again, and at this point it's about ready to unravel. So the cuffs are the judge themselves. Once this state is reached, after the struggle, if it should turn back into a struggle with the cuffs all cinched up the way I was showing. So if they're all cinched up and they hit the first stage where the knot was pulled to the max loose, where the cuff was pulled to max loose and hitting this controller right here that was controlled by the pin, we just start talking about adding penalties. So there was this problem where maybe the person who put the cuffs on over tightened, and there's a little grace because bodies change size even in cuffs, so it should be allowed that the cuffs can tighten and untighten in this way. But by the time the pin is pulled, this is like turning into a grenade. And I pulled the pin in two ways, because once the grenade is about ready to go, you're just going to go all the way and let the grenade go. So then here we go, stage one, and this is sort of like the pin's been pulled on the grenade. Although I haven't fully worked out exactly how large of the how to explain this, of how many penalties are being racked up getting out of the cuffs. So and then they're supposed to be custom tied. So maybe there's some room to just try to pull it off you, if you're Osama, instead of just trying to pull them dead, pull it all apart, so the rope's no longer even a cuff. Now I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work, because it's basically like there's some links here that are the grenade to go off, and then there's the links here. But I believe I got it set so our grenade, so to speak, is going to get pulled loose. And then this is a bit of a problem. This doesn't pull through so easy, as I've sort of shown over and over. So these really shouldn't be set to make this as tough to pull through, because it might actually get stuck and not give all these options. So maybe before it's put to use, this gets clipped off after it's tied up and set. And then all this can get pulled out, and the cuff can get pulled all the way out. And at that point, it's basically maximum military penalty. It might even be beyond genocide and extinction. And another, all right. So there, how many? That was 2 pulls. And I keep reminding myself, I'm glad this went right. That's my anger from 9/11. So I think at this point it might be genocide or extinction if this was a consensual agreement among all parties over somebody doing what Osama did. But if things are still so wrong, the animal thinks he has the right to get out, we have to prove we're not trying to kill him with the cuffs, because there was a consensual agreement to capture, not a kill agreement. So then finally, like I was talking about pulling the pin, this is like the handle to the grenade. And then it flies off. It seems like it's just a matter of time, but this is a great deal of grace. So as long as the animal doesn't struggle too much, just trying to prove it's still violent, it's not such a problem. But once it's all said and done, and because this is given just a little bit of extra grace and not slipping through easy, I'm going to try and pull it this way, but then I'm going to go ahead and not make it exactly like it's just 2 hands pulling apart. I just pulled out something I didn't mean to. I was going to try to show when I pulled this back out to a rope. So it should have just basically done that before that one pulled out. And then here we are, yet again, it's sort of like 2 pins being pulled. And the consensual agreement to capture is gone. And it's basically maximum military penalty now. Look, I'm having a problem with this. I think I'm having a problem with this knot, as I figured out on the last run through, because I wanted it to untie all the way, just being pulled. So and then I've ended up with 1 knot, and I have 1 knot to fix in this design. So then it can, if things went right or this wrong, whatever, it just turns back into a piece of rope rapidly. It doesn't have to teach any terrible lessons, which I've tried to design it so it can't. And then this can sort of go into some market, like maybe in one of your video games, where it says it's a rope that can capture the most notorious military criminals in existence, or maybe I have to admit, and it can also be gotten out of and give maximum military penalty, or whatever it achieves, if the next Osama bin Laden should end up in a set of cuffs like this and get out. So I got one more piece to figure out about making it maximum easy. Just pull it all the way out to completely fulfill the challenge. One of these challenges, I believe, is still at large for all society, especially us military, from September 11th.